pumpkin carbonara. And I am matching because I'm feeling so seasonal. Press my sage into the butter, a little bit of parm right on the top. So I woke up this morning and I walked into the kitchen and there was that undeniable chill in the air, that unmistakable first sign of fall in New England where it's freezing at night and then it warms up during the day. So what better way to start the fall than to make a delicious, hearty pasta dish. One of my personal favorites is carbonara. And instead of just doing a regular old carbonara, how about kick off the fall with a pumpkin carbonara? It's a really, really nice, subtle pumpkin flavor to add to a traditional carbonara. And it's just going to give you that little touch of fall that you're yearning for. So you could probably guess what I'm about to pick up that starts our dish off. It is pumpkin puree, and I am matching because I'm feeling so seasonal. It's kind of embarrassing. So I just got this pumpkin puree in the grocery store. Usually can find it in a can. You can also puree your own pumpkin, but don't do that. Don't torture yourself, just get it in the can. To it, we're going to add our traditional flavors that we add in carbonara. So if you know carbonara, you gotta add eggs in there. That's what gives the carbonara its creaminess. So the key is to use 1 full egg. So I'm gonna crack this one. And then you're going to use just the yolk of another egg. So if I can do this, that would be the key here. We're going to separate the white from the yolk. And the reason why we want to use just a yolk for this is you want the perfect ratio of egg white and egg yolk. Egg yolks give this dish a really nice rich flavor, and egg whites are going to give it that nice creaminess and that texture. But if you use too much egg white, you're going to scramble the eggs. You need to wash the hands. In traditional carbonara fashion, I'm gonna add in quite a bit of cracked black pepper. I just cracked that all, it took me a long time. And I have some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. This is gonna add a really nice saltiness and nuttiness. You want quite a bit of it. You can also use some pecorino too, but I really like this more subtleness of the parm. And then the final step for this is to add in some nutmeg. I have a little bit of ground nutmeg here. This is not traditional, as you can imagine. This is gonna really accentuate all those fall flavors. So you're going to create your little slurry here by mixing together all your components. How beautifully bright orange this is. So fun and festive in fall. All right, so we're gonna set this to the side and we're gonna go work on our pancetta, which is key in carbonara. So as I mentioned, pancetta is key to carbonara. You can also use guanciale, you can use chunked up prosciutto, or you can even use bacon for this if you want something a little bit more smoky. But pancetta is really the classic. So I have just diced up pancetta. I'm gonna cook this off until it's just turning golden brown. So I drained off a lot of the extra fat that's in the bottom of the pan. Sometimes it can turn a little bit bitter when you cook it. And I'm just gonna add in just a splash more of olive oil. And then I'm gonna add in some finely chopped sweet onion. It's gonna give this a little bit of texture. And then just some minced garlic. I know that's not usually traditional in carbonara, but it's really, really good in this carbonara. So I'm gonna go ahead and sweat this for about 4 to 5 minutes just to cook the onion and garlic off. And I'm also gonna pop in my spaghetti. Our onion, garlic, and pancetta is ready to go. It's all set. So I'm gonna turn my burner down to a very, very low setting, and I'm gonna let this sit on warm. I have about 3 or 4 minutes left on my pasta here, so it's time to collect my pasta water. You want to like make sure that you do this step. It is so, so important. So when the pasta's almost done, you need to collect your pasta water. I collect about a cup of water and just put it to the side because we'll be using that when everything's ready to go. And the final step is to prepare our butter for our crispy sage that we're gonna put on the top of this pumpkin carbonara. It makes the whole thing. So I just put a tablespoon of butter in a skillet. I'm gonna let it come to a gentle little bubble, and then I'm just gonna pop my sage leaves in, which I'll walk you through in just a second when the pasta's ready. I just drained my pasta, making sure to reserve that pasta water, and then I'm just gonna pop in some sage leaves to my hot butter here. So the butter's bubbling up. I'm just gonna press my sage into the butter, let those go for like 3-ish minutes or so until they look nice and crispy. So while those go, it's time to assemble. So I'm gonna take my really hot pasta here and I'm gonna put it right into my also nice and hot, that's been staying warm, my pancetta mixture. And then I'm gonna take my egg pumpkin cheese slurry and I'm just gonna pop that right into the very, very hot pasta and the warm pancetta mixture. So I'm just gonna mix in the pumpkin egg mixture right into my very hot pasta, just like this. And then once it's starting to get mixed in, I'm gonna swap this spoon out for this tongue set. I'm gonna add in my very, very hot pasta water. And this is gonna make it nice and creamy, and it's also gonna cook off that egg. It's beautiful. Look how creamy. Oh, yes, baby. You just wanna stir together all the ingredients until everything's nice and hot and looking creamy. Who wants pumpkin carbonara? It looks so good. Boy, can I not wait to dig into this. And I'm gonna take my crispy sage, just put it right on the top. A little bit of parm right on the top. And some black pepper and a fork. Oh man, that is deadly good. The pumpkin is so light. It just adds a little extra something, a little fall flavor. The crispy sage, whole nother level. Check it out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. Another egg. I'm not very good at this. Help me, Eric.